Framer 3.0 was just recently released, along with the re-release of Fable 5. So I'm going to show you how to use Framer to build a quick landing page with the help of Fable 5 and their new agent system. This is extremely powerful, and as you're going to see in this video, this is not about using AI to replace taste or to replace yourself as a designer. It is there to help maximize efficiency. So at the end of the day, you always have the say as the designer, but it really helps speed up the process, and it really helps speed up the process of iteration as well. So let's get started. All right, so I have a brand new desktop-based document here in Framer, and a couple things just to be aware of if you haven't used Framer in a while. Over here is the property inspector. Typically before, when you selected something, you would just see this area right here, which is the property inspector, based on, whatever element that you clicked on, maybe some text. It'll show you some relevant values here. But now we have this panel up here, this tab navigation, where we have the agent section up here. So the agent section is where obviously you communicate with the AI to tell it to do certain things. And those certain things that you can tell it to do are like really large tasks, like make a whole landing page, or you can literally just click on an element and tell it to change or make an adjustment of some sort if you don't want to do it yourself. So the first thing we're going to do here is I actually prepared a document, and this document I'm going to show on the screen real quick. It's going to be hard to read. You can pause it if you want. This is just a document describing the business, the internet business based on, the whole lab coat idea that I mentioned at the beginning, where you upload blood work and it analyzes it for you. That's a project that I'm actually building. So this is going to be a landing page for that. Now, what you would do if you have a business idea already, or a PRD as it's called, you would just click this little plus button here and then just attach, in this case, it's just a text document. So essentially, it's going to pass that in as what's called context to whatever you also specify here in this area. Okay, now you can attach images and different media types, PDFs, and it will still be able to extract that information and read it, and you can reference it here in your custom prompt. So over here is the actual model selector. Obviously, we have Fable 5 here selected. 2x means it's going to be the most pricey, but typically you get the best results. So having said that, I also did prepare a real quick starter prompt here. And so I'll read this real quick because it's just a couple sentences. I've attached a file that describes an online business. I want you to create a landing page to advertise this business, implement a hero section with 2 other sections beneath it that advertise the service in a relevant manner. And I'm leaving all the design decisions up to you initially in terms of color, typography, etc. You should make use of animation in Framer's new shader system in a performant and visually pleasing manner. Performant is because whenever you're messing with shaders, that uses like GPU and stuff. If you go crazy and use too many of them, or use them in a bad way, it just wrecks the whole experience of using the website, especially if it's all laggy and stuff. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to select this, and we're going to hit send, and we're going to see what it produces. All right, it is done. Let me hit play here, and I'll show you what it came up with. Now, right off the bat, I kind of don't really like the shader effect in the background, and I also don't like that these values right here, these biomarkers, are just spinning and rotating. That's going to be difficult to read. It serves no purpose. And then finally, I also don't like the color scheme being black and dark like this. I'd rather have a light mode, because you're thinking about like, medicine, hospital settings, white, it's usually not dark. So I think we're going to make those 3 requests, and we're going to go ahead and reissue that. So the follow-up prompt here, I'm still in the agent tab, is going to be right here, and I'm just going to paste this in. We need to change the color scheme from dark to light. So I'm telling it we want white with a nice blue as the primary color, and as well as black for like text and stuff. And additionally, I don't like the spinning, rotating markers, way too hard to read. For the hero section, let's utilize a 2-column approach. That's it. So we're just making small adjustments here, not doing anything manual yet, because I really want to flesh this out, at least from a high level perspective, more of what I'm looking for before I start getting in there and making custom adjustments myself. All right, and here we go. This is the revamped version. It only took like a couple minutes. If I scroll down here, we can see now we have our light mode UI. I think it works much better. I'm still not happy with a couple things. I think this shader background, it's too overbearing, but I'm gonna show you how quickly and easily we could change this up. And then also, I don't like this area right here. It's kind of hard to read these values, but again, once we fix this, this can be changed. So let's go ahead back. I'm gonna hit the back button. And the first thing I could show you, just by using the existing shader, we can make it like much better by making it more of a watermark, meaning it's not so obvious, it's more of just like a background element. So to do that, you want to switch over to layers right over here, and then right where it says hero, you see shader background. And then you see these elements right here, liquid gradient. Now the fade is just the thing at the bottom that fades it off, but the actual liquid gradient right here, you can see the settings. These are all the colors that are found here in this particular gradient. So the one that sticks out the most is the one that contrasts the most with the background, which is this blue color. So if we just take this and make it white, okay, so now it's like I said, it's much more of an afterthought. It doesn't demand so much attention from your eye because it doesn't contrast as much. If we select it again, you can further just play around with the colors and really make it something that's, you know, much more of an afterthought and something that doesn't really kind of get in the way of other things. So now if I hit play, it's always a good idea to hit play and just widen this thing up just to get a real good idea and a feel for how things, you know, look and behave. Now, I will say I don't like this try the free demo. It seems like an afterthought, right? Like it mixes in with this background, but this is kind of important of a call to action button, being that it's up in the nav bar. So again, just to make custom adjustments to things, it's very easy. So we can just come back here where it says button, variant, primary. There we go. Really freaking simple. Okay, additionally, the next thing I want to do is I want to improve these buttons right here, these little pill-shaped containers. I kind of don't like the background that's sitting behind them. So you'll see that we have the fill section, which says surface right here. We could just make this white, but also this is the opacity at 3%, make that 100%. Now the background doesn't interfere behind it with it as much. I kind of don't like, there's a very subtle stroke or a border around it. I'm gonna hit X on that, and that way we just kind of get rid of those areas. Okay, that's cool. Let's hit play and kind of see what this looks like. All right, not bad. Let me show you though how we can experiment with other shaders for the hero section. So for the shader, we can come over here and we can see that there's different types of gradient-based shaders, which is what this one is. We also have logos, like this could be like an SVG. It doesn't even have to be a logo. And it'll apply a cool shader, like a metallic effect and different type of things. And then image-based shaders where you just upload an image and it will distort it in some way, shape, or form. And then different effects over here. So I think what we'll do is just change one of these to one of these shaders. Like, so if we just select this one, right? It's off the screen. How do we actually replace this shader in the background? Well, we can see in the layer stack, if we take bands and we push it and drag it all the way up into the gradient area and delete the other one, and we select this band shader, which is the new one, it's not on here because it's negative 473 on the position axis. So hit 0 for top as well, and then make 100% right here for width, and then 100% right there. Okay, so now we have this new effect. Now this does not look good in my opinion. So what we want to do is modify it. So we have our different colors right here, and you can make this monochromatic, meaning just one or two colors, that's it. So for instance, maybe we'll keep our blue. We'll make the red white. What about this part? Okay, so now we have some interesting things occurring here. We do have still a lot of different color that is showing up. So what happens if we change this color here? Okay, so I actually kind of like this. So if I hit play, it's really kind of cool because it infuses some interesting colors into the design and it's unique, all right? It doesn't look like it's vibe designed. So I think that's really cool. You know, I could probably sit here and work with this a little bit more, just this little general section in here. But for now, I like this so far. So now let's focus on, you know, perhaps a section maybe right here we want to add. Maybe we want to have some different biomarkers that are just kind of being scrolled across that people may be familiar with. So let's do that. Let's go ahead back And you don't have to use AI for everything. We can do stuff ourselves custom, right? So for instance, if we come over here, we can come to this area, and if I type in ticker, we have this ticker right here. So I can literally just kind of put it right there. And I want this to go all the way across the viewport. So we're going to choose 100% width for this. All right. And inside of here, all right, so for this ticker, I deleted those. And what we want to do is go to Agent, and I'm going to click Select. We can select it, and then as you can see right here, it's added that into the context, so it knows exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so I've selected a ticker, place, custom design, pill shape, biomarker values that scroll indefinitely like a marquee, and think values like creatinine, bun, etc. Do about 12 of them. Use our design system, and let's send this off. All right, and there you go. As you can see, if I refresh, you can see what this looks like. All right, very nice. And you know, you can do other things, like maybe for instance on load, you don't want it just to be immediately obvious. Maybe it'll just kind of fade in and expand up. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. What I'll do is, we'll do it the AI way real quick. I'm gonna do select. All right, we've selected it. On page load, fade this in and move it up into place on the y-axis after a delay of approximately 0.7 seconds. All right, let's give this one a shot. Now, you don't always have to use, you know, Fable 5. You can use something that's cheaper. Let's try Sonnet 5 for this. So let's refresh, and it did it really fast. So that's another thing. The cheaper models are typically faster in terms of responding. So this did this exactly what I requested very quickly. So that is really, really cool. And again, you could, if you just have random ideas, like maybe for instance, you want to have each one of these just fade in sequentially as well, you can ask it to do that. So really, you know, what AI has done, as you can see, I've been using it not to replace my taste, because I've certainly changed a lot already, but really just to make my life easier, more efficient. You are removing friction when you use AI. Don't think you're being a cheat, because it's ultimately you who has, you know, the ultimate decision maker. You are the decision maker when it comes to what things look like and if they look good or bad. Now, as a designer, one thing I don't like is these two sections right here that you see, they look very similar, right? Not much thought has gone into them. You know, they're both the same exact kind of card formats. It's just redundant in my opinion. So I'm going to ask it to make this middle section a little bit more unique. I don't know what I want it to do, but this is one of the ways that you can use AI. I want you to reimagine this layout with this content. The cards are very bland and they're very similar to the pay report cards beneath it, and make this section more unique. This time I'm going to try GPT 5.5. Okay, and this is what it came up with. Not too bad. Let's hit play so far, kind of just to see what's happening. Come down. All right, it's definitely different than this section underneath. I think it's a little bit redundant. I also don't really like, you know, the interaction added, but you know, maybe we can take both of these and pass these in as context to the chat. So if I select them, all right, redesign these two cards so that they're in two columns in one row. Don't use the same pill-shaped container aesthetic. Okay, so this is what it did, and it's not really what I had in mind as a designer. So what I want to do is take each one of these and make a quick adjustment to the fill. We'll get rid of that surface here. Really, I could just select both of them so we can make these changes one time. So I'll go ahead and get rid of the fill. Just adding some more white space underneath and above it. There we go. Okay, so now we've created a much more unique section as compared to what we have here. I do not like this gray. That's that little, what's it called, a surface color. So I'm going to get rid of that. Definitely want to click on this section and tell it to add call to action buttons, like purchase buttons, onto these at the bottom of these cards. Take the middle card, and then let's go ahead and pass that to the context as well, to the agent, and ask it to add a most popular tag at the very top. Yeah, so that looks really good. Let's take a look at everything else. Here's our custom section that we adjusted with the much better pricing cards as well. One final thing we'll do is come down here. I think there's a lot of white here in this area, especially when I have blue up here. So what I'm going to do is just simply change the values very quickly. I'll do this myself. We don't even have to use AI with this. I'm going to select this primary color, except we're going to make it darker, kind of like a darker desaturated color. And then I'm going to take this and we're going to start making the elements, actually visible this time. This will be white. This right here, we could just grab perhaps our accent color. No, we can go to a little bit lighter than that. And then I think there was one other element down here. And we'll take this color like that. All right. So as you can see, definitely, massively, it just improves your efficiency when you're using AI to help you design within the context here of Framer. It's something that doesn't necessarily have to replace you as a designer. It's a tool to make you faster. I mean, I could have done any of these things by myself by hand, but it would have taken like a lot longer. Like just to put in this little, most popular thing, we'd have to, change it to a position absolute and then move it up into place and manually change the colors, when the AI chat just allows us to get to what we imagine much quicker. So that's how I view AI. It is a remover of friction, all right? And it's awesome. So that's why I don't get people who just crap all over AI. I love that they obviously have integrated it now, and it just makes you so much faster. And especially with the ability for it to just interact with its system, its built-in shader system and the animation system. It is so freaking cool. So that's why I've always said, ever since I've started covering Framer, it is my favorite tool. It's my favorite no-code tool. And now it's become even more powerful with AI itself. So definitely check out framer.com. Top link in the description here. And I will see you all very soon. Goodbye.